Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hello, everybody in the free enterprise world. My name is Possumorpheus, and I am here with the one and only Martin Broadcloak for what might just be the match of the Red Moon tournament so far. Game 3 of our quarterfinal between DekarSMASH, the reigning ZZ4 champion, and Soleras. You know him, you love him, makes deep runs in many a tournament. Martin, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I hear you may have a slightly more vested interest in this race for obvious reasons. Gee, I wonder what that is.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, could potentially be playing the winner of this match next week, but that's neither here nor there. Next week doesn't matter if you can't get past this week.
Well, wait, hold on. But what if they tie? Because the tie will probably be next week. So next week actually could matter.
Then we go again.
Okay.
Find a restreamer if we need one. Find a new tracker. Martin, we're here for double comms.
Okay, but what are we doing about Scala, though? That's the important question.
Scala deserves a rest.
Okay.
Not like a rest as in to be arrested, but a rest as in sleep, like Z-Flags.
Oh, okay.
Like a nap, like for all of her hard work.
Yeah.
You know, in case of a tie. What? I didn't say that word.
It's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So we're here. It's game 3. How much can we say about the first two games?
They were very close.
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes apart. Definitely would recommend watching them if you haven't already.
They each won one of them. We can say that. Yeah.
It'd be hard to get to a game 3 without that being the occurrence.
I mean, you could have tied the first two.
That would be a new one.
I feel like both of them would have been thrown out of the tournament. Something about collusion, and yet nobody would have believed it. So, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but it would have been provocative.
It would have. Would have made for great viewing. Great TV.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Martin, we're also joined by S-Grunt, our restreamer, and Judge Joe, amazing runner of the Red Moon flags in his right as well, doing the tracking tonight. So quite a great crew we have here. We got a bunch of bosses on the screen here. We have, and this is strange to me, DekarSMASH also says, keep me for Rosa. I mean, yeah, it's Rosa. I would hope we'd be keeping her. But we see the Gauntlet, the Magus Sisters, Golbez, Evilwall, Asura, Odin, Elements, and Ogopogo. Some of kind of the fringe included bosses here. Asura, Odin, Elements, not the worst of the worst, but some that might test your tech a little bit more.
Very much so. So I'm looking forward to see where they show up, and please don't be early, because, you know, they're so much more fun later on in the game.
65k of Ogopogo into like Evilwall at Elements. Oh, hey.
Yeah, builds character.
That's a character you don't want to find.
I mean, he'll be gone as soon as we get 6 characters. It's I mean, you can't do... Wait, can you do worse than Edward?
You can, because at least he can get the spoon. So maybe as soon as we can get rid of him, we do. But as soon as we can find it, we'll bring him back.
I see what you did there.
I know, I had to start early.
Yeah. All right, let's go find characters. Let's
go find
I say let's go find useful party members, because right now, if you add up these two and their damage, like tens of damage possible.
Find a dancing dagger and we're at hundreds of damage. And Edward could actually be your primary party member. Honestly, I would love to just find the twins here. And just let it roll. Rosa is acceptable too.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, and a punch mage.
Yeah, not excited about the punch mage. I would rather have Sid.
Not yet. Not yet. Possibly soon TM. That requires finding an old man, but that's also a future problem. So we're okay there.
There's also a character whose existence I will maybe choose to acknowledge on Dekar's side. Usually paired best with a coffin, but a smaller, less fragile, or excuse me, more fragile, except in the Z fights apparently in this tournament, white mage. And also more importantly, I think, than the character that showed up is the crystal ring that showed up in the one box behind that character.
Yeah, nice little 2%er there, you know, tier 6, just lying. I mean, who leaves a ring just lying around? Seriously, like, Especially one of that
ring.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like iron ring, sure, leave one of those lying around. But a crystal ring,
Yeah, like as an adventurer, like with a crystal ring, how would you even die in Watery Pass?
I'd find a way. Give me 5 minutes. I'd figure out something.
Oh, catch charm on those tiny mages. But speaking of twins, we found them.
Please don't do that. We did. So, hey Possum.
Yeah.
Obviously Rose is great and all, but obviously we both had a small hand in developing this flag set. Cecil, not the best starter. So why do we like seeing the twins?
Because they know the twin command.
Kind of lends weight to get up ordeals.
Well,
it's a pretty good command.
You can definitely flare and comet your way through most of the early game, barring running into things like, let's see, Magus Sisters, back attack orbs.
Yep.
I think for me, I would be looking at this party. I would really want to know who is on ordeals, but I don't think I would rush it. I think that you just leverage that twin command and you just blow up the overworld. Probably put Edward in the Tower of Wishes and go, but it would certainly be defensible to go up ordeals and find that 7th character. Bid could help you a lot. And looks like Dekar is agreeing with that and saying, I want that last bit of knowledge. If this is a Tella, it could be extremely important to just rush ordeals here, and go through and get that Tella in particular online to go with the Paladin. Then you just ditch probably Yang and Eddie. Kayn, though.
Kayn
love that.
Yeah, Kayn is good for one very exact reason, and you're about to see it on Soleras' screen, and that's exactly that Ogre Axe that they both grabbed out of Watery Pass.
Yeah, I'd be slamming that Ogre Axe and the Crystal Ring on Kayn, basically let him and the twins carry your early game. This also does mean no Tella, no D Machine.
Yay! I know there are people cheering for that. Yay! Okay.
And we do see on Dekar's side that Ogre Axe, that Crystal Ring, gets slammed right onto Kayn there, which I think is for me objectively the correct approach here. We see Crystal Ring going on Yang on Soleras' side, and Dekar looks like he wants an early Siren. Martin, why is this good?
Well, when they're back attacks, they're not good. I'll let you speak to that later.
Thanks.
You're welcome. One, it's 5,500 experience. So, a couple extra early levels on Kayn is a very big thing. The twins, not so much, mainly because, like you said, we're flexing on their twin command. They're not exactly getting more MP here. They have their starting 50. And that's where it's going to stop until they get to the mirror room. So,
nice.
But the levels on Kayn are going to be very important.
Speaking of things that twin command is no good against, but we did, I believe, both the runners looted a Stardust J item. I'm a little surprised we're not just burning that here, because if this doesn't roll Comet, somebody gonna die here.
Yep. But that's half the fun of it. Look, it's a 1 in 4. Look, those are gambling odds, okay? I'm all right with this.
Yeah,
look at
well, it rolled Comet. So,
I said, I'm good with 1 in 4. Let's go.
And this is why I don't play games that heavily involve RNG, because I would just lose.
Well, there, yeah. On Dekar's side, you notice, though, only did 1 Siren, keeping 1 back.
Yeah, I like that.
So do I. Basically, because of Cecil. Once his conversion happens and he sees the light, that first Siren is a slingshot. So he goes straight to level 17 with that Siren. And that helps usually for your next spot you're going to go right afterwards, which you hang it right, you'll see, you can't miss it.
Oh, gross.
Oh, hey, you spoke that one into existence.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry, not sorry, friends.
I mean, look, it's parry, jump. That's
so
easy.
What I would do here, honestly, is I would highly consider grinding up to Virus on Palom. Because what you can do here, and you would have to take the crystal ring actually off of Kane to get the timing on this correct. But you take the crystal ring off Kane, you put it on Palom, and what you do is you then have this window where the wall is down on CPU after exactly 2 mazers, and you can fire off viruses directly. So I would be very inclined to heavily consider getting virus right now if you know the exact timing on the fight. If you don't, this is the correct way to handle it. Just take out the remedy orb, jump the back orb, and maybe 3-4 jumps, and you'll be out of here.
Yep.
You could try to YOLO and, go for some comet strats, but you could also just end up dead. So
I was gonna say, with your odds, you talk about not playing odds, and your propensity of back attack Liliths. Yeah, I probably would try to figure out other ways than just be like, yeah, let's just YOLO it, see what happens. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. There's also that Stardust J item I think that Dekar still has. Could very easily pop that here and be very close, if not done with this fight as well. Maybe save a jump command, some extra animations. Yeah. But don't hate saving it as well. That Stardust could actually come in handy against the Black Cat and Lamia chest if that is part of what we're looking to do also. Soleras, meanwhile, took out Bahamut up on Hobbs for some XP. Not a required boss, but a nice bit. I think it's like 4,200 XP there. But Orb's down on Dekar's side already. So pretty smooth fight, all things considered.
Yeah, very much so. We'll see what happens. You bring up that Stardust and those cats. Once again, you're back to RNG and I can play it. You know what happens when the Stardust doesn't hit 600 damage on the cats? Bad things.
Well, unless it hits like at least 593, because they have like 592, not quite like 600, but yeah. Yeah, then they get angry, and any pet owner knows angry cats are not something to be trifled with, so. Nope. Hey, that's a nice item. Yeah, I dare say that check panned out for Dekar.
Why did they put us on comms?
So I could get you to just groan, because I make bad jokes.
Okay. I mean, I know why they put Grunt and Joe here. That's because we don't do work. So, they got to put responsible people with us.
No, we found Water Hag, but no 1% today. Womp womp.
Well, we have to give Grunt a little credit. This is his first Red Moon seed that he's rolled. So, obviously he's not part of the Water Hag meta yet. We'll get him in there.
Is anybody part of the Water Hag meta outside of Rybon and McBain?
That's accurate. No, there's been 2 rolled this tournament so far.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. There's been 2.
I thought it was both of theirs, but that's fine.
Yeah.
More comments on Soleras' side, not what you actually want to see here. Also, I know this is going to grind your gears a little bit. Not using a Cure 3 offensively here.
Gee, I wonder why. But Possum, you could save those in case you don't have healing in the future.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I would be a little more inclined to use them here, though, with 2 white mages available.
Okay.
But I still don't hate saving them, because it is a long time before you get Cure 3.
It's an inside joke, folks. You had to be around for it. It was a hot topic of debate. Ooh, that's a rock.
Yeah, one might say you were very adamant about your opinion. Oh, hey, that's the adamant rock, folks.
Uh-huh. Wow, look at that. Sheila's Closet. That's uncommon. And it paid off.
It's uncommon if you haven't been scouting your opponent.
Yeah.
I know that Soleras has done a lot of homework on Dekar and his tendencies. In a prior match, even stating something to the effect of, I'm trying to do some of the things I know he will, a la like a package check. And looting Sheila's Closet, potentially looting things like the back of Hobbs. These are all things that Soleras has seen Dekar do, and he is playing slightly defensively to cover some of those easily, track down locations. So it's not to say that, Soleras is doing anything out of the ordinary. This is knowing your opponent, and this is why one-on-ones, especially at this stage, really do lend themselves to knowing what you're up against.
Nice little strat there from Dekar. Cure 3 right into Landia jump. Yeah, that fight was short.
Yeah, used one Cure 3 on a Lilith to one-shot it. Used one Cure 3 on Mylon there, plus a jump.
Yeah.
So you have a situation where you're able to get through that fight in 2 actions, whereas I believe Soleras had to take 3 with a parry.
Hey!
Rat Tail giving the pigtail. You love to see it.
Do it. Just give him a sword. Do it now. Come on. That's not a sword.
I mean, if we need to kill dragons, those are really nice.
Yeah.
So could facilitate gold dragons, could facilitate yellow dragon eggs.
Eggs, yes. Eggs. I don't think I've ever cooked an egg with an arrow before, though. I don't think that's really good.
And a lot of folks might be inclined to think, oh, hey, that puts like Archer Rosa online. I would argue that puts back row Cecil online.
Yeah.
Because now he can cover and be an archer at the same time. So I really do like that pickup for our runners. And I'm very curious on Soleras' side. Do we dump Yong for Kane here?
I mean, he has that Ogre Axe. Oh, wow. This is interesting.
He's not sure.
No. I mean, we all know the power of the Punch Mage once you start getting him levels and things, but that Ogre Axe just has to, like, scream at you like, hey.
And we say goodbye to Rosa. So I think those are the 2 most logical choices, either getting a Rosa out of the party here or Yong out of the party. You have to take Kane in this situation. And Soleras, to his credit, did stop and think about that. It's worth the 10 seconds of time to stop and think and really plan out your approach rather than just going through and hastily saying, let me get rid of someone, let me be done with this.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm probably out of Yong personally, but you can always just pick up Rosa later and have her catch up. It's a very easy thing to catch Rosa up because frankly, she is just really, really good on the XP side. Yeah. She only needs like, what is it, 750,000 to get to white? So like you can pick her up and she'll still learn white before Palom and Porum do.
Yeah. Not only that, but I mean, picking her up usually, depending on when you grab her, there's probably going to be like, you know, the first fight or 2 will involve a slingshot. And because she gets Cure 3 so early, like she's going to go online. Like if that plays out, like she'll go online in the first fight. And then Cure 4 isn't that far off from there. So it's... We both know Rosa and her HP pool is a wonderful thing to have. And Twin eventually will outlive its usefulness.
And speaking of things that have usefulness, though...
Yeah.
Eblan Castle. We're getting the lottery play before doing Baron In, before even checking that Rat Tail. So Dekar saying, let me go play in Eblan. And we'll see. You know, we found a coffin for that Porum, which is a good start. But we'll see what else we find here. We have our first monster box.
Okay. All right.
Coffin will help.
This goes back to that J items you were talking about. It's like having that Stardust, picking up that Gaia drum, having an Ogre Axe on Kane right now. Like you've got ways to kill all 3 of these chests. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, the Ogre Axe in particular. Really going to make short work here.
Yeah. And getting the life glitches out because, hey, what's better than XP? More XP.
But Martin, why are we casting life and just getting this sparkly thing on the ground?
You can make me explain this. How can I explain this in 19 words or less? Enemies have a vitality stat equal to 0. When you revive people... That's like almost 19 words already. Crap. When you revive... Yeah, we were done. When you revive people, they come back at basically 5 HP times their vitality stat. That's how you know how much they come back with. So when you revive an enemy, we swear, they actually come back, but they die again. So because they have no HP. so the game doesn't exactly figure out how to deal with that. So it just kills them again. So it's 2 for the price of 1, or 3, or 4, depending, setups and all sorts of fun little things. But yeah, no, it's a useful trick.
Yeah,
It's one that glitches in the game.
Yeah, rather morbid, but it happens. It's actually the only glitch enabled on the Red Moon flags. Also on Dekar's side, the Mad Ogre chest gave a couple levels, and also more importantly, provided us with a black shirt for Palom. And there's a grimoire. Ifrit's very helpful because the skulls are weak to fire, so that's a really good hit, actually.
Yeah, very nice. And Kane will take care of quite possibly the worst enemy in the game, hands down in the Staleman. So no love lost there. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Soleras does get through that CPU fight on Ordeals, but I believe that puts Dekar up the room on, and I missed what that item was. A White Spear, not bad. Puts Dekar up the Ordeals changing room and 2 trap chests in Eblin, so a bit of an early lead here amassed for Dekar, but I would not count Soleras out in any way. In this race. Both have been incredibly close all throughout.
All right, what are we looking for? 3rd trap chest. I'm going to say a Siren.
I'm going to say a glass hat. Let's do some cover Cecil.
Ooh, I like glass hats.
Do we get the Gaia drum and Stardust use? No, we're just going to Quake. We have Quake. That makes a lot of sense.
I love the predictions from chat here. Ninja shirt. Yeah. Might as well go ninja sword or better while we're at it, because what's a ninja? I don't know.
Not in this seed.
So. All right, what do we get?
Oh. All right, Martin. You win. The Siren's call is too strong tonight. There's only like 100 items that could be, folks, and Martin just hits the 1 in 100 because it's Martin.
Of course they do. It's like water hags. They actually do grow on trees, believe it or not.
So basically, what did we get out of that Eblin dive? We got Quake, we got some levels on Cecil, we got a black shirt, we got a white spear. It's like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 28,000 XP and the friends we made along the way. That's about it. So
if Soleras opts to fade Eblin, while that would be very tough to do, I could certainly see it. If he fades it and just does, let's say, the Mad Ogre chest, could definitely make up some time here. But I think with this party, we're fairly incentivized to go tackle Eblin. Looks like we are going to get a Siren use, maybe 2 here on Soleras' side. Gets my RNG on this and gets back attacked. Welcome to the club, friend.
But okay, so to your point though, you called this out earlier, about playing your opponent. Well, you do enough research on Dekar, and guess what? Dekar's doing Eblin. Like that's a thing. And honestly, most people in Red Moon, they do Eblin because you don't want to miss the tier 8 if it exists. And woe to you if you do. Yes.
Why did we kill off Kane?
Because he deserved it?
Also, we might be going for a Canker.
I mean, if you have a Drain Spear in your hand, it's perfectly viable.
Meanwhile, Dr. Dialogue giving us a vanilla Baron key. So Dekar now up Eblin and Baron in down the Rat Tail turn in, but does have probably a 3 to 5 minute lead built up in this early game here, playing very efficiently so far. Not finding much of anything in those Baron shops though, and Soleras says, "Let me head over to Baron." Might be skipping out on this Eblin altogether. Only level 20 on Palom, but does have Virus, which will be sufficient here.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Quake is nice and all, but I mean, you'll get there. I mean, there's very few bosses where Quake is like an actual benefit. funny enough, we've already seen a couple of them.
Yeah, like this Officer Soldier, the Orbs, Dr. Luge.
Mega
We have, in fact,
Sisters.
seen, the Magus Sisters. We've seen quite a few.
Yeah, so like Virus right now for Soleras, I mean, that'll be just fine. Or, those J items that we're all terrible at using and then selling off later for nominal money in order to afford 2/5 of a siren. Yeah, that never happens.
I mean, a Gaia drum sells for an entire siren, I think.
I think it's close. Yeah. Gaia drums, very useful.
And big question time: do we get blarged? Is this our Ogopogo?
Could it be?
It is our Ogopogo.
I will say this: we've talked a lot about this, about Red Moon, and just these flight sets in general. And we spoke a lot about this over the past few days. Is that watching all these races, and basically because this is a boss hunt, probably one of the most valuable items in the game right now isn't a crystal sword, isn't a character, isn't anything like that. It's exactly the Baron Key.
Yep.
We have seen that Baron Key cause all sorts of havoc in this game. And to have it early and have bosses that you need locked behind it's such a great feeling. Like, you're not panicking about what boss do I need to kill that's going to have my Baron Key. Are there 2 hidden bosses that I can't see behind it? Is that my go mode? It's in your hand. You're doing it right now. It's out of the way. Life is great.
Yeah, I would know nothing about a hard required Baron Key gating multiple bosses. Not a thing. Not me. Not in my free enterprise. But meanwhile, Soleras is through, and we have a double in Baron, I believe. Well, could be a double. Is a double.
So about that.
Also, kind of a spooky double here. The magic at this spot is very unpleasant. So you want to make sure this Quake fires before Element's fires, or you're kind of in a bit of a pickle.
That's going to tickle.
That's fine.
That's
it's
fine.
The fire 3 and we do beat the fire 3, so Dekar going to get through this. But that's a little bit of a spooky fight to get right after Ogopogo. But that is now 3 objectives on the board for Dekar already, and ahead by basically the Ogopogo and the Elements, as Soleras has faded Eblin for now, which we know will work out for him in the long run if he continues that. But may revisit it before diving the hook route. And we'll see how he reacts when he picks up that white spear, if he picks up that white spear.
Yeah. Question from chat: how's the barbecue situation tonight? Non-existent so far. We have not found an Avenger. We're working on it. We will. The Avenger tracker is online. We'll let you know.
Well, I did have pizza for the first time in a couple months last night, and it is barbecue chicken and tomato pizza. I know, very interesting flavors. So there is some barbecue, at least on my side.
There you go. Very nice. That's less nice though. That's not samurai arrows. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Soleras also showing off that Twin here does not invoke a counter from Ogopogo. So if y'all are ever stuck in a sticky situation and don't know how to get through your Ogo fight, just cast Twin, and you won't get countered. We also see some Baron guards hanging out in Mist Cave. That is not a required boss, and Dekar promptly resets out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, also not really a boss you wanted to see there either. Just because,
another freebie.
Yeah, you'd love to see him later, but not now. Okay, so nice part about doing the overworld, pretty straightforward. Bad part, when you keep everyone alive, you tend to have this issue called an anchor. And that's what we're seeing the trade out right now for is, Porom, you have outlived your usefulness. We love you, but we have Exit, we have Berserk.
Yeah.
And we have Rosette, so you gotta go.
Yeah, this is basically bringing out the Yanker, and we are going through and getting the ability to to make sure we have the turn order and turn parity set up the way that we want it. So on Dekar's side, going to have Yang in the middle for most of the upcoming fights, and then choosing to lead off with whomever he leads off with, whether it be Zerkers, mages, or whomever, but will allow him to control his turn order. And there's an Asura that is a required fight as well. So we do have 4 of our 7 on the overworld, potentially 5 in the Baron basement, and even up to 6 if Zot 1, the old Rex banner play, rears its ugly head as well.
Oh, but Possum, it's so much fun doing Zot 1, though. It's a great time.
It's not the worst check if you are in face check mode. Worth noting, when our runners pick up the Darkness Crystal, whenever and wherever that is from, they will be missing access to only 5 bosses at that point through the Tower Key, the Luca Key, the Twin Harp, the Package, and Zot 2. Now, we do still, on Dekar's side, have a Rat Tail to turn, and we know it leads to a Pink Tail, but we're also sitting on this Pan, and I do wonder if we may go through and get that Pan turned in very quickly once underground. Also worth noting on Soleras' side, we did not get the quick kill on Elements, so we're having to go through all 4 forms here. This fight taking a little bit longer for Soleras than it did for Dekar. And we even get to see the final form Val. There cannot be much health left on this to have taken a virus in the Kainatsu phase and still be standing after a virus. And there's Yang saying goodnight, sweet Princess Val.
Yeah, something about a thunder weakness, and Punch Mage doing Punch Mage things. Okay. So, all right. So, thing about Soleras, you mentioned hadn't done Eblin yet, right? Put the hovercraft down there though. If you do Eblin, and this is something that you will see runners do, stick your head into Eblin. You have exit. What makes Eblin a lot easier, Possum?
Well, coffins and hourglasses, if you have them. So it'll be interesting to see what this shop has. I would definitely be intrigued and inclined to peek before doing Eblin and not having to worry about getting punched and having people get downed.
Yeah.
So important shop check coming up here. There's coffins and hourglasses. That is trap chest heaven there. So that will make Eblin a lot faster for Soleras if he opts to shop first.
Yeah.
Or he might just take those and head straight to the Mad Ogres. Would be very defensible too.
Very much so. So obviously another thing we see there too, because Red Moon, hey, you know what? Camping gear, it's optional. Ether 1s work just fine as kind of a replacement. Wow.
That was a shop.
That was a shop.
Just, you don't want to spend 66k on a Gungnir Spear for Kane. You already have a White Spear on Dekar's side anyway. Ninja Blades would be cool, except, well, we don't have an edge.
Charm Rod, though.
Charm Rod, definitely a good piece of equipment for Palom. Soleras reset.
Must have checked Baron Basement.
He checked Mist Cave and reset. I guess he left a save outside of Baron. I was concerned he didn't save. And it looks like he is going to be playing in Eblin. I don't think we're going to get a shop check first. But we do get some looting on Dekar's side. Maybe continuing the hunt for the Holy Sword. The Stalemen are unpleasant, but if you have Quake, they're a little more pleasant.
Yeah. Not a great percentage to hit a Crystal Sorter, but I mean, it can happen.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But resetting out of it though, okay. So what do you think we're looking? I mean, this loot quality, the stuff here is good. What are you looking for?
Do we need money for hourglasses and sirens?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Sorry,
is it a
cash
play? Yeah, is it a cash play? I'd be curious. I know we're kind of broke. We're only at like 29 grand right now. So
probably wanting the Gaia hat and the grimoire there.
Yeah.
And just calling it good. Our hook route is going to be DKC, so this is effectively free.
Free. Yeah. Yeah, those waves that DKC will do are in the neighborhood of roughly about 300 to 350. You have Cecil with levels. You'd be fine.
Yeah, Spider-Man pointing meme wins the day there. Cecil just stands in front of Cecil and just kind of goes, ha ha, doing the old Ralphie thing.
Yep. Try harder. Thanks for playing. It's okay. It hasn't been a bad overworld. 4 of 7. You look at the key items we had. You have a pan in your hand. Baron is all but done. Like this is setting up pretty well, I think, for the runners for like underground.
Yeah, it looks like Soleras may be done with Eblin. And this is something that I think we have seen him do before, if I remember correctly, where he just wanted to get underground and really leverage the key items that were picked up. I think he probably just wanted Quake on the kid, which kind of speaks to the, well, what if this shop has like hourglasses and coffins and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Where you can just go take the Mad Ogres on the way down, fade Eblin altogether. Now that is a fight where a Holy Sword would help. But alas, we do not have one.
Hey,
so,
I have a great alternative solution for you.
The Legend Sword.
No, an hourglass.
Well, yeah, but not on the first form.
Man, we don't worry about the first form. What's the worst? He turns you into a pig.
That's pretty bad for Palom.
Well, yeah. Ish.
We do have arty arrows, though, which...
those work.
Those would definitely work here. We're also opting to just stop, which is another easy way to take out this boss. It is going to get the Dragon Breath off, which is 25% of your base HP, but that is not going to be a problem. There is a White Spear hit for 8,800. Kane actually contributing. Forgot we even had that White Spear, as Dark Elf in both forms is weak to Holy.
I was waiting for you to say I forgot we even had Kane.
Well...
Kane, who's this character? I don't know.
Kane is a character that exists.
He's a vessel for a White Spear.
Or an Avenger. But yeah.
Or an Avenger. So, yeah, here come the waves. Don't... okay. You could have just stood there. It's okay.
What I would like to see here is maybe trade a life potion for some XP on Palom. Maybe help him get through some eggs faster if the plan is to pop a couple once you get underground. But it's certainly defensible to just hold and not really do anything here.
That's kind of why I was a little surprised about that lack of a Charm Rod. Is we both know we've been around the block doing eggs. Like you look at this party right now. Yeah, you have arty arrows. Let's fade that for a second. If you didn't, that kid is your best way to kill eggs. Well, the more plus stats you have on him, the quicker he can use Virus and not waste your time casting Quake on eggs. Which, when you do enough eggs, Quake takes forever and a day. Let me tell you. So the faster you could just be like, oh, I'm just going to push the Virus button, the happier you are.
Martin, as somebody who did around 55 eggs between my two matches in the quarterfinal round, yes, I will also agree that taking out those eggs quickly is vitally important, as you can lose a ton of time if you are not one-shotting or two-shotting. Meanwhile, we do have a Falcon percent time of about 35-40 for Dekar. That includes a full Eblin clear and a full Baron clear minus the basement. Pretty efficient so far to this point. That is not bad at all. No. Soleras down the Eblin check in this hook route as well, but we'll be about 2 to 3 minutes behind. I think big decisions upcoming as to, do we get to a point where we hit 10 key items fairly quickly? And if so, what does our party comp turn into? Do we stick with sort of a hybrid strat? Or on Soleras' side, with this Yang in the party, is there ever a world where you get rid of your Cecil, you onboard Rosa, you go nuke white with a Yang, and actually ditch your starting Cecil?
That's colorful.
Because your Val insurance is your anchor Kane, and you're young punching things. So
that's
for
creative.
Soleras, he has a lot more party options with the way he's set up right now. And I missed. I had a little bit of a screen blip there on Dekar's side.
I did not see it either. It is an item that exists. Let's go with that.
Artie bow. So we have Artie on online, but we don't have a heroine rogue. So white mage going burr is off the table, but
I don't think eggs are going to care very much, though.
No, like Cecil.
Yeah, eggs just aren't going to like that at all. So sirens now are a wonderful thing. Let's paint a different picture as we look at Soleras about to get through this hook route. You ready for this? So we know Yang's agility baseline is 8. So, okay, that's fine. Kane with a Drain Spear, we're probably under 8 at this point.
We're at 5 right now.
Okay, we're at 5.
Yeah.
We have a crystal ring in our inventory.
It's true.
We have a small child that probably has Quack.
We do. Oh, you're thinking Sylph.
I sure am.
You are trying to hunt some holy swords. That is interesting. Also interesting, a twin harp coming from the pan. If ever there's a time to do the twin harp, this is it, because you're already weak.
And Zot 1.
Well, and Zot 1, yes.
And Zot. So here's, okay, I know this is going to sound weird, but here's my Zot 1 argument. And I know people were like, ew, why would you do Zot 1? You don't have an Earth Crystal. Here's why. You're doing the twin harp, we know that for a fact. Okay, if you reset out, you're back here. You have the opportunity to fade dwarf.
Yeah.
Because you kill the boss up top. Like, regardless, you are committing to killing whatever is sitting at Zot 1. But the knowledge of dwarf 2 in the process. You look at our key item list right now, like, yes, we're missing the darkness crystal. That's that's your big, like, oh, please don't let it be darkness. Everything else, okay. And darkness and dwarf with all its cutscenes, and I mean, that's a lot of time.
It is. Speaking of time, Soleras 3 minutes 20 seconds behind Dekar getting underground. In other words, basically the length of this harp check.
Yeah, pretty much.
We will be on parity if this harp check does not pay out and Soleras fades it. So this will be interesting to see, but I expect we'll get a very similar route. And Soleras aside, we might see a Fey March dip after the pan bonk.
Hey, Possum. Look at me. I'm so proud of him right now.
Yeah, I think we are getting what you talked about with some of them Sylph Quakies happening. We best be on battle speed. Oh, we're going 1. This is dangerous.
He's gonna try and buffer them all. Wow.
Well, while that's going on,
let's play
Wonderwall. I mean, the harp. Enjoy, y'all.
Hey. Okay, Possum.
Hey, Martin.
We're supposed to be saying something profound right about now, but I ain't got words.
Yeah, I do. That fight sucks there, man. I
It
hate
really
the Lunars
does.
there.
That is
And
quite
Kane-
possibly.
Kane full-on betrayer mode there. Just decided that he wanted to do bad things to the back dragon, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was awful.
Wow.
Really bad luck on Dekar's side there. Chat pointing out having Artie on Cecil probably the play there.
Yeah.
But in the moment, you have to assume that Kane is not going to just decide to roll back dragon, back dragon, back dragon. But it's Kane.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. You just said that you were expecting Kane to not be patently average. Who are you, and what have you done with Possum?
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Now,
I will say that makes this very interesting. Dekar taking a wipe there. We know that those D-Lunars are not required.
Yeah.
But if that Twin Harp has value, I think that just became Dekar's last location. It becomes incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin, guess what we found in the Fey March?
Okay, hold on. Before we get to that real quick, yes, I will say the words. Oh, well, Soleras just sold the free charm rod. Must have bought one earlier. That's fine. So, yay. We can get underground now. Yay.
That's good. 8 out of 10.
I'm not Soleras. I can't do it as well as he can.
No. Soleras' level of apathy is like 11 out of 10. It's phenomenal.
That's devoid of all emotion, love, and otherwise just... Hey, we're staying at the Marriott.
Yeah, the Feymaria gets 1,200 of our finest shekels. Speaking of things that don't get our finest shekels, we wish we had some sort of like GP rain or a way to throw money at our problems. Because speaking of fights that stink, this Mom Bomb ain't fun here either.
No.
Thankfully, we got Cover Cecil going on. We got some viruses coming out. We got Zerk. This fight will be fine. But Dekar not going to be feeling great after that Twin Harp incident.
No. And like you said, it's going to come down to, okay, that is your fate. You hope you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Because, but this is free enterprise, so of course it'll probably be a punish, not in the way we think, but it'll probably be a punish. It'll rear its head somehow.
I mean, if it's the Earth Crystal, the Luca Key, the Twin Harp, that is a whole lot of water hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, the good news, not terrible. Bad news, not necessary.
Yeah, we're at 3, 6, 7 key items with the Pan-Turn still to go. The Barren Basement, Dwarf Castle, soon to be the Twin Harp. We have a whole lot of reasons to not do that Fey March right now and to come back later.
Yep, very much.
I know there's some folks that love doing the Fey March early there, but those fights after a grind take so much less time to do later rather than to do them now.
Yep. Let's go back to Dekar for a second. This goes back to what I talked about earlier. Okay, so if you did Twin Harp into Zot 1, you would have seen him and known for a fact that yes, Dwarf is required. So that would have been extra time. Probably didn't need to spend unless Zot 1 is a boss we need.
Also true. And more vanilla.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this is a fight that is not going to be very difficult.
No.
If Palom lives, if Kane lives, both of them will easily dispatch this Golbez. If Cecil is alive, you probably just put Artie on him and drink a Bacchus wine.
Yep.
The magic damage here is relatively non-existent. Virus going to do, if it hits, 120 damage. And we saw on Soleras' side, I believe that was 20 Sirens. That is
a number.
An interesting amount, because that is a hedge between full grind without 10 key items and more than you need with 10. It's a very odd amount to buy. I would have liked to see maybe pick up 13 or 26.
Okay.
It's just 20 is just a weird number.
Maybe. I can see a way, possibly, maybe. Well, the problem is, Unless he has an idea about, because he still has Porum, perhaps it's, when you say 13 or 26, perhaps it's, I'm going to do a few to get small children very large spells. And then, go do my key items and do Baron Basement and do all this jazz. And if I get to 10, fantastic. Now I can just burn the rest of them and call it a day. Maybe it's just a small... He did one earlier. Right. Maybe it's just a small bit of flavor.
Grind early, grind often. I love it.
Yeah, just a few. Not many. It's like, it's the difference between like a 2-egg omelet and like a 5-egg omelet. Like sometimes you got to have the 5 eggs, but sometimes you're not. It's just two. Two's enough for now.
Pretty sure I subscribe to the thought of just give me all the eggs all the time, but that's a me problem. That is a tower key. We are staring at a high likelihood of 10 key items, either with or without the darkness crystal at this point. So this also gets a little bit spooky now, because we're diving into this Fey March on Dekar's side at 8 key items. Routing wise, I would be very inclined to do the tower here and try to pick up 2, grind, come down here, and then decide, am I fighting what's down here? Post grind and single dipping Fey March. It's a very curious choice. Not to say it's right or wrong for any given seed. It's just a curious choice in this situation.
Well, and to your point, and this once again, this goes back to this twin harp, is okay, you do tower, you're at 10. You do whatever sirens you may have purchased, etc., so forth. You come up here. If you don't have a darkness crystal in your hand, you're probably taking a swing at what's in this march.
That's true.
Because you're fading the twin harp, so it has to be done.
That's very fair.
Yeah, what would you rather do it on, level 30 or level 50? Like,
I mean, I'd rather do everything at level 50, but that's also kind of my MO. So, I will say, because you said it the first time, Dekar can get underground now. Yeah.
That's like all the caffeine right there, Possum.
Right, but you see, I am chat. They can live vicariously through me. I go full on excitement, as opposed to everyone who goes full on apathy.
No. See, chat's even agreeing with me on this. Way too happy. That was like a 10, and it needs to be down at like a 4.
Dude, it's a key item, and we're getting closer to 10. My eyes light up when you can cut my grind in half. That's a me thing, man. I get excited when I see a Magna key.
All right. So, also, we haven't pointed this out yet, and it's a small concern. It's not a big concern. It's a small concern, but it could be a major concern later. Look at Dekar and Soleras, Possum. What looks slightly different between the two?
One has a cane anchor, one has a yang anchor.
Okay,
Dekar has Asura. Soleras did peak the Asura, I believe, at the waterfall. So he knows.
Okay.
So he
I didn't know if he had peaked it.
Go nuke.
Okay. I didn't know if he peaked it. That was my concern. Is please stick your head in there.
I think he did, but I mean, if not, like, it doesn't matter right now because you're only at 4 or 7.
No, but it does change routing.
Sure.
Like if you didn't know that Asura was sitting there, and waterfall, God forbid things escape your mind. Like, oh, I don't know, Sheila 1, Baron in, turning in D-Mist. Hey. 5 of 7 changes kind of your idea of, once you pull that darkness crystal in your hand, what's your plan? Like,
my plan is for less vanilla.
Well, but vanilla's so delicious, though.
It is delicious, but this is getting to be a lot. Also, we accidentally punched Rosa. Kane failed to kill Yang, or someone failed to kill Yang, maybe Cecil. Now we can take out these dark imps.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, strangely enough, that 5,800 XP from this would actually matter. Because the Yang would get double that, and that'd probably give him, I don't know, 2-3 points of agility. and wreak all sorts of havoc. So
Yeah, that would be a bad deal.
yeah.
We do see our runners kind of converging here in the tower. Big differences, though. One, Dekar did have that twin harp fiasco where Kane did bad things to his party, but he has the knowledge it's not required. He's also upped that twin harp from Sheila, so if we get 10 key items from these checks on Dekar's side, but not 11, he will be able to do his grind and head straight to Fame Arch, where Soleras will still have to go and turn the pan in, and might then be incentivized to do the Twin Harp check as well. So it'll be interesting. And that 5,800 XP that you talked about, Kane just got that. And that's not great.
Well, oops. Okay, but you said he was at 5 agility earlier. Right. He could be at 6 now, and we're still fine.
I think he's beyond that.
Okay, I say once we get into the 8, 9, 10 range, that's where things start a little bit sketchy.
Oh, Soleras saying thanks, but no thanks.
I was thinking exactly about this. If you wanted to play sketch, throw save in this room and walk out and see what it gives you.
I think he's just saying this landmine ain't required. I'm gone.
Yeah, he's just gonna go. Wow.
So this means that Dekar's last location is the Twin Harp. Soleras' last location is Keyless Tower. So we have huge divergence with everything on the line for both runners here. And speaking of runners, RPG Limit Break, you are raiders, not runners, but there were runners who had a fantastic race on your side, and we humbly ask that you do not spoil the result of that race. But we do thank you for joining us from that free enterprise race between Loof and Rex Banner. So thank you for heading on over. And hey, Martin, what did we get from that tower key?
Yeah, not a key item, but a useful item, but not a key item.
We can do Mac Giants now.
I wasn't gonna say it. Okay, I still have not found a solution to that one yet. Yeah, I mean, Zeus Gauntlet's nice. More damage. I'm okay with more damage.
This is interesting.
Spine Baron Basement. All right, here we go.
I'm surprised we're doing this before the pan as well, because this is another one of those checks I would love to do post 10 key items. Interesting from Soleras here to take this dive into Baron Basement. This could be a very spooky spot if this is like a gauntlet or a wall.
It could just be a flat-out routing thing. It may be, hey, this into Asura into turning it in the pan.
True.
So, well, we know which one that is because we saw the other one earlier.
Yeah, this you need a bunch of coffins for. Dekar completes the top of tower. Also comes up with Bupkis there. So
the fade pays off for now.
But we need to figure out a way to quickly get through these enemies, because this gauntlet is going to drag on, and that is not a play on words with regards to the clappers at the end.
But we bought hourglasses, right? As long as we bought a couple, it's all we need.
Yeah, the problem is hourglasses still end up in a situation where you're not one-shotting. These conjurers have exactly 3,000 health, though, so 3,045, that will do it from Cecil with the RD Bow Mute Arrow.
I believe your math checks out. Yes, 3,045 is more than 3,000. 2490 though, is not.
And this is awkward because, this is a Naga. Okay, I was concerned this was an Arachne.
No, that's only in the March that happens. But the next fight can bring out a clapper. So that's one you don't want to short.
Yeah, we can't really do a ton there.
No.
But this fade from Soleras might get him back into things. Yeah. Dekar coming out of that tower, double zonking, no 10th key item. That is a big ol' feels bad, and with not being able to route that twin harp in. Ooh.
Yeah.
Love the coffin use.
I love this because you don't want to short this fight. Like, clappers, they do blitz. Okay, it's fine. It's only half of your max HP repeatedly without fail. So, and this one probably is going to get arty arrows. or just flat out get. Okay, yep.
Yep, already ours. Oh, and Chad is pointing out Sand
Mhm.
Ruby, aka Sad Ruby, was top of tower. I did miss that. So thank you, chat, for helping us. That is
That is
actually 10
10.
key items for Dekar, so he can go grind now
Yeah.
and then decide what he wants to do with the rest of the seed. Solaris, meanwhile, completes that gauntlet, picks up the Darkness Crystal. So that is a big hit.
Okay, so hi, my name is Soleras. Asura dies. Asura dies right now.
Yep.
I'm turning in that pan.
Yep.
Because I see I'm at 9 key items.
Yep.
I'm going to launch the whale and take that 30 seconds to collect my thoughts.
Yep.
Followed probably immediately by a lot of eggs dying and then getting up on the moon.
Yep. Agree with all of those points. The seed is very linear for Soleras from this point onwards.
Yeah.
The seed is not linear in any way, shape, or form for Dekar. This is really scary from Dekar's point of view, because that Baron basement, that to me is a bit of an out of logic check. Not to say that it's not available and it's not something that you would, want to do or not want to do or whatever. But that is a situation where you're just sitting there kind of thinking, what would I be more likely to do? In Dekar's case, the Twin Harp is a disincentivization from going back above ground.
Yeah.
He may be diving Feymarch here.
And it's not a bad call. It's two right next to each other, and you have so much power on your hands. It's not like those two spots are scary, and they don't take much time.
Yeah, that Leviathan vanilla is not difficult. That Kainatsu, you're going to have the HP to blow through it.
Exactly, yeah.
This is super dangerous for Dekar. Basically would need like a package or a Luca key out of the Feymarch and a pass. Otherwise, he's very behind the 8-ball to no fault of his own.
No.
It's just one of those situations where he ends up where he may be a Feymarch behind after being effectively like a Feymarch ahead time-wise throughout most of the seed.
Wow.
Now, that all being said, because we're about to have a whole crap ton of eggs being done on both sides, both of these runners, by the way, really, really good. 10 out of 10 recommend following them both. Soleras, again, you know him, you love him. He makes deep tournament runs. He's a heck of an admin. Brings to you a lot of your ladder stuff as well. And, a lot of the design behind the ladder in conjunction with Big Dunka, who's kind of the ladder godfather from the LTTP side and bringing it to free enterprise. But Soleras does a ton of work on that. Yeah. So, definitely give him a follow. Thank him for all that. And then on Dekar's side, of course, defending Zemus' Zone champion, kind of back to the wall against the ropes here, if you will. This will be really interesting to see how this plays out from here. Soleras, though, raising that whale, like you said, going to gather his thoughts and decide, what do I want to do for a grind?
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
We both play the game. We're both relatively okay plus at the game. What's faster, Possum?
I like my whole day grinds.
I was gonna, I kind of figured you'd lean that way. Like for Soleras, this may just be go up into, you're either taking the dragons either in Cave Bahamut or on the floor with Mura. And it's basically going to be hourglass, drink a wine, put Cecil down in 3.
Yeah.
With Artie bow, Artie arrows, drink a wine with them, and the other 2 are on light potion duty. And that's it. Like that's your grind. You do 4 of those and you're done.
Yeah, whereas you would need to do probably a dozen eggs to get everyone where you want them.
Yeah, and Soleras is, zoom off to the moon.
Yeah, and he has the hourglasses, I believe. And that likely is going to be the play here. We are approaching a critical mass on Dekar's side, though. 2 more eggs, and we're going to have Nuke on the Kid. We're going to have White on the Rosa. We don't have Edge for tertiary darting. We don't have Porum for tertiary whiting. So this is going to be some unholy amalgamation of a Z fight on Dekar's side, but probably a faster time getting through other fights.
Yeah.
The big issue is, what are those other fights going to be? And on Soleras' side, that is Ruby. That is not required, but we're going to get our grind on now.
Yeah. I mean, you're down here, you spied it. What are you going to do? Reset and go do that? I mean, you're here. Just do it. Just do it. Unfortunately, didn't flip his party around, though. So this is going to cost an extra turn here.
Yeah, a little bit suboptimal on the setup.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't pick up Rosa. We also didn't heal here, so Palom does go down.
Healing? Who does that? It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But we have reached a critical mass on Dekar's side, so he is down a boss, down a darkness
fading
crystal.
The march.
But he is headed straight to the barren basement.
Wow.
So onwards we go. We got a race on our hands, y'all.
It's defensible, and here's why. He hasn't seen that boss.
Yep.
Like, he knows what's down in the march, and it's not what he needs, so why not possibly check one that you haven't seen and just pray that you're right?
Yeah, the only bosses that he hasn't seen are Baron Basement and Zot 1.
Yeah.
You don't have impetus to do Zot 1 in this case for a couple reasons. One, the Twin Harp thing, and two, it can't gate a key item, and we're looking for darkness on Dekar's side.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 5 fights. How's this party order look?
I hope we got Palom in slot 2 for Nuke.
Yeah.
Or some coffins.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to be close, Possum. This is...
Wait, these runners close? No.
Okay. 6 of 7. You're on the moon. This is it's not your tournament life, because obviously somebody will go to the waning side of the bracket. Someone, unfortunately, and yes, I'm saying unfortunately here, unfortunately is going to win this thing and face you.
That sounds like a them problem.
That's definitely a them. Well, I don't know. The rate they're going, it might be
sounds like a me problem
too.
Yeah,
like, So, if you're playing to stay in the winner bracket, do you gamble your entire tournament, like upper half life, and just go straight to the bottom?
I think on Dekar's side you consider it because of what happened with the Twin Harp. As much as I like to say things like don't play against perfection, your opponent is human, these two runners are good enough that if you feel like you have made a mistake, and this is not a mistake again of Dekar's own doing, this was Kane decided to, punch the wrong dragon 3 times in a row. You might feel like you have to do something a little out of the ordinary. And what would happen then is you would probably still peak Value Cave.
Yeah.
But then you would go straight to the bottom.
Yep.
Whereas in Soleras' shoes, other than maybe the overworld being a little bit slow, there's no reason to feel like you've made any mistakes. If you feel like you're down a holy sword, you're in kind of a rough situation anyway. Speaking of rough situation, Porum takes 2 shots there and is going to miss out on the XP here. That is not ideal. You also miss out on a life glitch as a result, so that might contribute to an extra fight here on Soleras' side. Not ideal, as that Porum gonna need some more help now.
Yep.
But that also speaks to your point about having the party order set up a little bit differently, where that would likely have been avoidable.
Yeah, just burning the hourglass ASA. You know your 2 attacks are coming out. Like that's inescapable. But after that, the fight is at your leisure. So,
and that's another one with no life glitch.
That's unfortunately when you only have 1 life potion, you kind of want to hold on to the 1 life potion. Okay. It could be useful. So, yeah, we're going to white on the kids. So,
and we're going Bacchus first here before Hourglass. We're one-shotting the dragons anyway, so I don't hate it. You just hope exactly Palom doesn't get punched here, but also he already has his big spell, so this is more for Porum than anything.
So chat brings up a point, and this was in the back of my head. I don't wish this on anyone ever, but this is also chat. How many times have you been I'm almost actually at 200 of these now. How many
I'm not.
times have you been at 6 of 7 and the entire moon has had nothing?
It's happened.
Yeah.
You could absolutely go giant here to answer the question.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a pass.
Yeah.
It would potentially avoid a second trip down a lunar subterrane. I'll be honest, I hate the math on it. Unless you feel like you are objectively behind, which again, Dekar may feel that way. And if he does, the giant is on the table. But he doesn't feel far enough behind, nor should he. Frankly, one small misstep, but still getting to fade things like the Fame Arch, etc. by doing that Baron basement. I like the play here, and he's not going to be more than a small check behind. He's also going to, more importantly, be up a Rosa versus a Pora.
Yeah.
That is a big deal long term for this party. That's a Rosa with 2,477 health. Soleras has a Porum with about 1,700 health. That is huge long term.
So, as we're approaching the end game, I obviously, we both know probably what we do in this Z fight. Do you see either of them playing it any differently? Are we going reflect here for 61, or do you think someone pulls hybrid out for this fight?
I think on Dekar I like hybrid because you have White Spear Kane.
Yeah.
I think on Soleras' side we're rocking Ogreax Kane, Artie Cecil. It's a much different situation, and it looks like Dekar is headed straight to the lunar subterrane.
This, you might be right. This may just be straight to the bottom.
Yeah, this would tell me that he's not feeling ahead. Dekar normally a runner who plays like he's ahead.
Yeah.
He checked value. Does he check Mura? So we have dueling Murasame checks.
Oh boy.
It looks like he did check value cave.
Oh, he
did.
So
we are but a few seconds apart, and there is Karate Man. That's a reset. No reason to stick around for that. At least not yet.
This is going to be close.
That is a free fight, though. And Dekar, in his situation, there's a world where he takes this. This is not that world.
No. It's once we go back to like how much we understand, Red Moon, and that number that you're comfortable at, and just accepting the fact. Like for us, and feel free to disagree with me. That number is 3. It's if I can't have eyes on 3 bosses, I'm okay with that.
Yep.
So, yes,
for me,
as
it's 4, but it depends on which 4 as well.
Okay. Okay. In most circumstances, we'll say 3 is I'm willing to accept. The math says just play the game like one of your bosses is behind those 3.
Yeah.
Go find the other 7.
Yeah.
So.
Now, the spooky part about that is, in this very situation, Earth Crystal has 2 bosses because no one has checked Zot 1.
No.
And I bring that up specifically because it has happened time and time again.
Yes.
Now, I want to thank our restreamer Escron, and I want to thank our tracker Judge Joe tonight for doing a wonderful job on both ends. And it would be classic Escron to have rolled a Zot 1 seed where you could just never go to the moon. Like maybe Zot 1 has a D-Mist with a Luca key, and that gives a pass and a boss. And like that would be peak prime Escrunt. Soleras going to the very bottom, Dekar going to the Crystal Sword Altar. We have an Evil Wall. Soleras is in go mode. Once this check is done, this is not a fun or free check though.
No.
Dekar needs to hit this Odin here, or this is advantage Soleras.
Yeah. Also, we're not saying it's over because, boy, do Z fights have very funny ways of rearing their head and do very bad things. So this is not done.
Plague is pointing Dekar somewhere from the Crystal Sword Altar.
Yeah. Go,
buddy. Go that way.
Go that way. Go that way. Go anywhere that isn't here. So, wow. I mean.
Also, looking at the damage on Soleras' side, these nukes and these whites are not inspiring confidence. I think we're hybrid for Z.
Do you?
I think we have to be. This is not a fun-looking Reflect team. Those whites from Porum, barely 5k. Yes, Palom and Friends is doable, but that's not great. Dekar saying, let me peek Ribbon Room first, and he finds King Queen Eblin. So ignoring the advice of Plague from the Crystal Sword Altar.
Yeah. And now is going to get the news, and here we go. Oh, yeah. Look. Yeah, Soleras is low ahead on the fight, but for all intents and purposes, hey, look, we're tied.
Yeah, Dekar has... There is one big advantage that Dekar has, and again, that is 700 hit points on the White Mage.
Yeah.
That cannot be understated for the Z fight. This is a very spooky Z fight for Soleras.
Okay, and this does go to a little bit. It's not much of a spoiler. We've seen a world where Porum gets blasted with a counter nuke, and we've seen where Porum gets high rolled with a very large Big Bang. Do you put up a veil on Porum to fade that exact circumstance?
It depends what my other gear is. If I have a crystal ring, I probably put it on Palom and just kind of let him ride with almost 2100 health, the crystal ring, and his natural stats. Worth noting, we picked up a Zeus gauntlet from that fight. That means we now have 2 Zerkers with Zeus gauntlets. On Soleras' side, that's going to be Artie Zeus Cecil, and a Yang with a lot of levels. And on Dekar's side, going to be Kane with a White Spear and a Zeus Gauntlet. Whatever Cecil's rocking, Nuke and that Rosa. But I don't know that Rosa makes up 2 minutes in a foot race. Hey, Martin, this one's kind of exciting and down to the wire.
It is, and we still have a Z fight in front of us.
We do.
Oh, God. Look at all these Z flags. They're excited.
Why?
This is way more exciting than a Magma Key by like leaps and bounds.
I mean,
okay,
fine.
It is. So, what are we at? 570 plus sprites?
Just say over 9,000.
Okay, over 9,000 different variations of Zemus, because Zemus loves cosplay. Doesn't get outside very often. I mean, look how long it took us to walk down here. So, whose butt are we kicking tonight, Possum? Does it have a hat?
Is it cute?
Yeah, does the hat come with free barbecue?
Yes.
Oh, baby.
Dekar says, I don't need to save. Because Dekar checking that Crystal Sword Altar and then immediately finding that evil wall, or checking the Crystal Sword Altar and the Ribbon Room and then finding that that evil wall puts him in a bit of a pickle time-wise. We have a crystal being tossed on Soleras' side. We'll call it 114.45 on Soleras' side, and we'll keep track how far behind Dekar is at this point. But this is going to be a nail-biter. We just have a cute little cloud.
No, that's not cute.
It's adorable.
No. Have you ever played Boshi?
I have not.
That cloud sucks. That cloud is evil.
Yeah, it can be evil and cute.
No, it's not cute. No, it throws lightning bolts and other mean things.
Whatever.
No, there's no cute aspect of that thing. look at it staring at you. What if you woke up and saw that staring at you? That is terrifying. I'd have questions.
I mean, you're allowed to have questions. But
okay.
That's a you problem.
The most of them usually are. That's what the voices in my head tell me all the time.
As long as you don't respond to them, you're fine. Anyway,
got it.
Continuing on.
Yes.
We have exactly 1 minute difference. True colors coming out for Dekar at about 1:15.45. Maybe it's a minute 5 seconds.
Okay.
Soleras is ahead by effectively 1 minute, maybe 65 seconds.
Yeah,
and big old nukes coming out. I was gonna say,
you remember how you were talking earlier about how sketchy that the damage rolls coming out were? The kids obviously brought their A game to the Z thing.
Well, I mean,
I saw quad 9. I saw over 8K coming out of Porum here on the white. So yeah, this may be, hey, I started punching and now we're just going straight to reflect. Well, and then there's 5,000, and we hate everything. Yeah, because that's what children do.
Yeah, that's the scary part, is when you get multiple rolls that are 5K from the
Mhm.
whites and 7K from the nukes, not the 8K whites and the 10K nukes.
Yeah.
We see both runners, but it looks like Dekar at least manually attacking here. No, is
Oh,
going full
yeah.
hybrid.
Yeah.
So he's got a light sword Cecil, it looks like, going full bore on hybrid. Soleras going full reflect here.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a second Big Bang on Soleras' side because the damage just isn't there right now.
No.
But I think that he should be fine as long
Yeah.
as Palom survives.
I would say that's what you talked about earlier, is having that crystal ring on Palom.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, even if, I mean, this would have to roll
Omega.
way up there, which we've seen before, so here we
Sure
go.
I have had a Rosa take 2,556 from a Big Bang fully
And
kitted out.
Boy,
And
did
he try.
the effort was there. So, yeah, this may just be, yeah, we're just going to sit. We're going to relax for a second.
Yeah, you're going to let the black hole fire, veil with Yang, throw up a Cure 4 with Porum,
and then put another nuke
try not
out.
to eat a virus and die, and then get the rest of the damage squeezed. I don't know what our damage count is at. I do know that Dekar is smashing away, final pun intended, at this Zeromus. And I don't know where he is in relation to Rocks, and I don't know where Soleras is on the count. I haven't been counting.
I'll put money on the fact this finishes it. See?
All right, well,
it's easy every time.
There we go. Soleras dethroning the ZZ4 champion DekarSMASH. Officially 118-15. Able to pull out one heck of a 3-game series against the reigning champ. And we are, in fact, joined in the booth by the one and only Soleras. GG's to you, sir. What a series.
Hi.
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 Deep breaths. Excitement.
Well, I've had 10 minutes to, basically I hit that done, and then I don't look at the race, so I looked and I was like, okay. And like 10 seconds passed, I'm like, okay. And then about 5 minutes later, it was like, oh, I won that, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah, I sure did. Wow. Oh.
What are we supposed to say of this?
Well, first of all, we say welcome to the round of 4, and I'll see you next week, bud.
Yeah, I was gonna say, say hello to your future opponent.
Week.
Yeah, it's right there.
And speaking of
I am
right
representing Super Cool S Club. Shout out to Skull.
Yeah.
We were a minute behind entering Z, a minute behind on Crystal Tosses, and finished a minute apart. Just by the way, GG's to Dekar as well. Sorry to cut you off there, folks.
Yeah, big GG to him.
Wow. Okay, questions. Okay, you faded Evelyn. Well, part of Evelyn. Okay.
I did.
Okay. But you did do part of Silk.
I did.
Was that in the plan?
Once I had the Kane anchor, yeah, because unlike any other anchor option, Kane would give me RA1 Quake, and I figured like, well, in Sylph, the plan was to just touch the traps, to touch the chests along the way and hopefully hit a few traps on the way to the Panbog. It turns out this seed that was...
one.
Yeah, I hit one along, of all of them, which was, fantastic. But, I mean, it kind of turned out this seed that you just needed 10 key items and the sirens, so, like, maybe it's better off it went this way. But, I mean, I don't know how many bosses are out there. You know, I obviously haven't spied Odin Throne, I haven't spied the Waterfall yet, because I tend to put that off, so I didn't know how close I was to just one boss and go. So my plan was, since I had the RA1 Quake, I liked my odds in Sylph better than Eblin, basically, and it sort of serves the purpose of doing a couple sirens, because it's practically the same amount of experience. Of course, I only hit the one, so then I did the sirens anyways, and felt kind of bad, but oh well. But yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, so you got underground a couple minutes after, actually, of Dekar. His CPU fight was significantly faster than yours. I wanted to ask you specifically about that fight and kind of your route, picking up that Kane late compared to, overworld routing. You sat there and you took a good long look at your party before making the best decision. when you saw those orbs, how happy were you had picked up that cane?
I mean, exceedingly happy. I was a little sad because the Rosa can aim with an archerbow meat arrows, but I mean, I think without that cane, I don't know how I. I mean, I get through that fight. It just would have taken probably a couple more minutes, to be honest. So yeah,
And
pretty happy to have taken that.
Was your choice between Yang and Rosa as to who to get rid of?
It was, and my reasoning was that Yang has a Thunderclaw. I had found a Thunderclaw doing Fable Defense, and Odin was on the table as an objective boss. Was mostly my thinking. And I wasn't giving up Twin Cast. Obviously, I wasn't thinking about orbs, but so yeah. Yeah, it just turns out that the cane was very strong, and Dekar let me know there's a White Spear in Eblin Castle, so...
There was.
You know, pretty hard to compete against that. I wasn't going to do Eblin this seed because, like, if I had cane... Like, I want the characters to benefit from Eblin, and the characters I picked up initially weren't really that, and I was like, well, I'll keep picking up characters, and then I found Palom and Porum along my way, and I was like, alright, I'm good. I don't really need anything. I just have Twin Cast. And I had, like, an Ogre Axe from somewhere. So... Yeah, the only reason I stepped into Eblin was to get exactly Quake on Palom, which didn't really end up mattering, but yeah, just one shot at a sword, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you played extremely well there. Like, that was a lot of fun to watch. That being said, your opponent is to my left.
Yep.
You two have faced off. Boy, could I wax poetic on the amount of times the three of us have faced off.
Distant campfire races, yes.
I was gonna say, what are you taking from? I mean, you went up against quite a tournament champion in Dekar, and you're facing another tournament champion in
Sure
Possum.
am.
What are you taking away from this 3-game set to go up against the one and only Possum Morpheus?
Against Dekar, it's that my skill levels improved more than I thought it had, honestly. So. It doesn't change the takeaway, though. The final takeaway, which is just play my game.
Yeah.
Play my game with a little bit of nonsense in it, just to really mess with him. Make him really uncomfortable about what's going to happen seed by seed.
I will allow it because I am predictable, if nothing else, and I look forward to those matches for sure. Where if you want to throw monkey wrenches. That could certainly catch me off guard.
Or just throw monkeys. That works too.
Or just throw monkeys.
Yeah, just throw
no poo. No poo, just the monkeys.
Yeah, no poo. I don't, no.
No.
I'll leave that to the monkeys.
So, one last kind of, question for you. You obviously do move on to the round of 4. Overall, just how are you feeling about the tournament, the flags, everything that's gone into it? I know that you had some input on everything and some testing, and how have you felt throughout the entire tournament to this point, regardless of what's going to happen going forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's been a good experience for me playing in this tournament. I do think that we succeeded by splitting the pool of entrants by gating the Red Moon somewhat, right? So I just feel like from like a skill level perspective, I've been put against opponents that have challenged me, and vice versa. I think so. Like from that part, I think it's pretty good. I think these flags in particular are fun, if not maybe a little bit anemic, unlike Cecil Seeds in particular. And I got 2 of them in this set of 3. They're not really my favorite. But yeah, I mean, they've been good. Boss hunts have been good. I like that we change what we do kind of tournament by tournament, and I do look forward to something different from this set already, but I don't feel burnout, which I have in the past. And even if I had lost, I really don't think I would have felt burnout, because I didn't feel it last race when I lost against Dekar. So yeah, I mean, I guess overall I'm feeling good. I'm here to have fun. I think I derive a lot of joy from putting on good races. Like, I know that folks, I imagine, have had fun watching this one, and I'll definitely go back. So, like, that's a success for me. And I get to talk to my friends who are here on comms, like, right? Like, it's all good. So, yeah, I'm feeling great.
Yeah,
it is.
Definitely. Well, I have one final question for you, and then we'll let Martin kind of take it from there with you. what's for victory dinner, victory dessert? How are we celebrating this one? Because making a Final Four is a heck of an accomplishment.
Tequila.
Ice cream.
Sorry, what?
Ice cream.
Probably.
Nice.
Probably also tequila, but I have, so I had half. I had half of the it's Cherry Garcia. I had bought. I ate half of that my first one. I'll eat the rest of it tonight.
There you go.
Victory ice cream. I like it.
Yep, absolutely.
Probably not burgers. I think everything's actually no. Some stuff might be open. I do need to actually eat. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but ice cream is definitely the victory food.
I got nothing. Go enjoy your ice cream.
I will. All right.
Done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing the talking, both of you, Martin and Possum. Thank you, Joe, for pushing the buttons. Thank you, Grunt, for this seed. It was, honestly, it was straightforward. It was skill testing, of execution. It was a good one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, thank all of you for putting on the show, and let y'all get on to Dekar. So,
okay. Bye.
Bye. GG's.
No, Possum, that doesn't mean we leave. We have to stick around.
I know we do. Okay. And we are joined by DekarSMASH. Second place tonight, but first place in many a race that we have certainly gone up against him in on ladder or otherwise. GG's to you, Dekar. What a heck of a series.
GG's. So this is what it feels like to lose a tournament match, huh?
I wouldn't know. I have no feelings on that whatsoever.
Not as bad as I would think, actually. I'm pretty happy with the way that went. I'm happy for Soleras. I'm happy we had a great series of 3 games, and I felt like I played really well despite some things not going my way.
Yeah, the big one there, and I just have to ask about it. How bad did the D-Lunar fight feel when Kane just decided he was full betrayer mode?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty annoying. I think probably it actually ended up saving me a little time versus like finishing the fight, finding an item that didn't matter, and either taking it out or resetting later. Mm-hmm. Certainly it didn't feel good until I later found the darkness crystal somewhere else. I think if he had literally any other sequence of hitting them, probably I would have gotten through. It's just he decided to hit the back one until it was one shot from being dead, and then hit the front one after that. Very annoying.
Frickin' Kane. That's all we can say. Frickin' Kane. I'm trying to come up with questions here, Possum. I mean, the two of you, these 3 races, all 3 could have went either way. Yes. And we joked earlier about the fact this could have been a tie, and boy, did you two really try? Because that was the thing.
We were talking in the race room afterwards, and I think if I hadn't checked the Crystal Sword altar, I'd probably save about a minute, and that really would have put us right into tie range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess that leads... Okay, that gives me 2 questions. We'll make the easy one first. Spine the Riven room first. Is that just like habit rather than, checking the Plague altar?
I think it's about the same amount of time to see the boss, because the little shaking cutscene before the White Spear altar, actually it takes a little longer versus the slightly longer walk.
Okay.
So I think that, and if you hit, maybe you get 2 chests, maybe there's something in there like a crystal sword or a pass that you care about.
The second one has to do with your egg grind, and specifically the end of it. And myself and Possum, we talked about this. Obviously, at that point, you have the levels, you have the firepower you need. The march. You're on the hunt for a darkness crystal, but you beelined straight for Barren Basement. Was there any consideration to just going and bopping those 2 bosses on the march?
No, there wasn't. I hadn't seen the boss in the Barren Basement yet, so I wanted the fresh boss look much more than I wanted the slightly quicker routing.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured. It's the eyes on something new was a good thing, and obviously it worked out. But yeah, that's That's the only two questions I Possum, you have anything?
I mean, nothing really else about the seed. I think y'all have covered it wonderfully. Kind of my big question is, you get a couple weeks off now, dropping to the waning bracket. You are certainly not eliminated from the tournament by any stretch, and God help anyone who runs up against you in that waning bracket. But are you planning on, doing anything in particular to prepare for future opponents? Doing any more grinding of the flag set? Anything in particular you might be looking to change, or just keep the same and play your game? Like, what's kind of your mindset, your forward thinking, if you will, if there is any yet? I know it's very soon after.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually signed up for the tournament, my intent was to only play the waxing bracket and then drop out if I fell to the waning. And the reason for that is just that my schedule gets really, really difficult in the last weeks in like late October and early November.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to be in a situation where like I get there and then I can't play, and either the admins have to make a bunch of magic happen to stretch out the schedule, or else we just don't really get a finals. So that's still a concern for me, but I've been enjoying flags more than I was expecting, so I kind of want to keep playing too. So I got a couple weeks to think about it, and I'm just gonna sit and enjoy the being a spectator for a little bit, and then I make the call closer to when it becomes relevant.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Glad to hear that you're enjoying the flags. It seems to be that most folks are. So, I'm glad to get that feedback from some of your caliber as well with your successes previously.
Yeah, I mean, I think boss hunts have a little bit of a bad reputation that comes mostly from like, 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5 type seeds, where like boss in the wrong location means you literally have to do everything. But I actually think that there's a lot of really interesting strategy that goes into boss hunts that doesn't necessarily go into key items, because key item chains are a little bit more linear than when you're just looking for bosses. So I think it's actually really interesting, even if it's maybe a little higher variance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll let you enjoy the rest of your night, as best you can. You seem to be taking it in stride and have a great outlook going forward. So we'll leave the floor to you. If you have any final thoughts before we let you go.
Really, just looking forward to a great match between Soleras and you, Possum, next week, and hopefully you'll play earlier in the week when I can watch. But otherwise, I'll just catch the VODs. And thanks for the Restream team and for the admins for all the work you've put in. It's really appreciated, and I'll be back either in the waiting bracket or probably some future tournament, one way or another.
Definitely. Well, GG's again, Dekar. Thank you for putting on one heck of a show as always, and we look forward to seeing you either later in the tournament or the next tournament, or both, and certainly on the ladder as well.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Take care. Hey, Possum.
Hey, that's me.
You know what I'm happy about?
What's that?
I don't have to face either of those two.
Yeah, that's a me problem now, isn't it?
It really is a you problem. Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. I'm just happy to be here.
Yes, please go follow these two. Go follow Dekar, go follow Soleras. You're looking at two of the best in the game. They
Absolutely.
Put on that was such a great 3-game series. I am so happy to have been on comms for 2/3 of it. It was everything we expected, and then some, and a little bit more. So, yeah, go follow Possum too. He knows way too much about this game. He's kind of good at it. Only makes top 4s and things of that nature. S-Grunt rolls amazing seeds. Judge Joe also terrifying. All these people are in the tournament, Possum.
Yeah, they're all really good too.
Yeah.
Then there's also you, who, while not being in the tournament, arguably the scariest person this side of Pancras who's not in the tournament, who could have joined and made a big bit of noise. But I think that it'll be exciting going forward for all of the matches in both waning and waxing in both blue and red moon. We have some amazing matches coming up. So make sure y'all, first and foremost, give Martin Broadcoat a follow. The man's run about 200 of these seeds. So if you want to see someone who has played the heck out of them, and you want to learn how these run, that's your guy. But yeah, we're going to be continuing on with the ZZ5 Love
Not
for
yet,
tonight.
though. Not yet, though.
Well,
Yeah, I hear admins require a day off.
right. Well, we're
Yeah.
going to be continuing on tonight.
Okay.
There's no more races happening tonight, as this does conclude this
There's no
week.
more racing. Oh.
But we still have folks playing for Enterprise. We always have folks playing for Enterprise.
Do we?
We have Zeke Highwind, who, if I am not mistaken, I think is in the waxing bracket of Blue Moon still. I think he is now in the quarterfinals. I'm not certain on that, but I think that's the case. I know he's put on a heck of a run for just his second tournament. So I think we are heading there. Matches will resume Tuesday, probably sometime midday to afternoon on Tuesday. So stay tuned in league matches, in the live streams area. And just kind of pay attention to all that. And we'll definitely have those matches posted as soon as possible.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, gonna be a great time.
It is.
So Martin,
Hi.
I think with that,
Are we done?
we didn't get fired yet again.
Sometimes we amaze even ourselves, Possum.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Time for chicken.
It's always time for chicken. Go say hi, Zeke, everyone. Don't spoil the race. You know the we shouldn't need to say it.
Yeah.
But I
But you
think we
did.
just did. Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.